Here we're going to build a little virtual network using Mininet and Python, and then in that network we're going to send some ICMP or ping traffic and then use Wireshark to analyze that. So let's start on your CyberOps workstation. So if you haven't already, just go ahead and log into your CyberOps workstation. And then we're going to open a terminal session. And we're going to start our Python script. Running the script starts Mininet and then creates this little network for us to work with. We got to be root, so sudo /lab.support.files. In the lab, should move that out of your way. /scripts. Yes, and then our script cyberops _topo.py. Hopefully I typed it out. When it gets long, you need to type it right. Password is cyberops. And then we built our little mini network. Let me make this bigger. This is what our network is. It's one router, so R1 is a router, S1 is a switch, and H are all hosts, like they'd be like PCs or something. So router to a switch, a host over here, and we've got host 1, 2, and 3. So we're going to start by opening up hosts 1 and 2 and then verifying their IP address and MAC address, so host 1 and host 2. In our Mininet terminal window here, type xterm, H1. It is case sensitive. That's actually called H1. I'll show you. So we opened our H1 node. That's right here in the topology. Now let me show you that it's case sensitive. If I go H2, it doesn't open it. There is no node called H2. So let's go ahead and open H2 for real. I got to remember to move my mouse. H2. So now we've got our two nodes open. You want to type ifconfig in both nodes and then write down their IP address and MAC address. We're going to use that later when we look at our Wireshark traffic to try to analyze that traffic. So if we go to H1, do an ifconfig, and then go ahead and write down your address. So your IP is .11, and then your MAC address is the ether here. And we'll do the same thing in H2. Whoop. I'll go ahead and write mine down. So it's 10.0.0.11 on H1, 10.0.0.12. And I'll probably just write down the last few of the MAC address on each side just so that I can verify I've got the right one. When we look at our Wireshark stuff, 933A, okay. So your MAC address on each side, your IPv4 address on each side. Now let's go ahead. We need to start up Wireshark and then do some ping and capture some traffic. So if we go down, we're going to go into our node H1 and type Wireshark. Oops, -GTK and our ampersand. It starts up, just click OK, it's fine. We want to start capturing on H1's Ethernet 0. So we click on H1 ETH0, and then click Start. Then we want to go back to our H1 node here. You have to hit enter to get your prompt back, and we want to ping node H2. And we're going to do it 5 times, so -C, and then the address for H2. Okay? Now go back to Wireshark and click Stop. Now let's go ahead and filter it on ICMP. We can see we have some ARP and whatnot. Let's filter it ICMP, so we'll type that up there. And we'll click apply. All right, so now what we want to do, we've selected this top one. Our source is .11 and our destination was .12, which is true, right? We pinged from node 1, whose IP address was .11, to node 2. Now, if we have actually 3 windows here in Wireshark that we can look at. The top one is a list of the PDUs that were captured. The middle is detailed information about the one you've highlighted, so you can see it changes if I watch this move when I change that. And then the third one, or the bottom one, is just the raw data for each layer in hex and decimal. So we're going to stay on this one. We're going to go down in here and try to find some more information. So if we open up Ethernet 2, our destination MAC address is this. I wrote down 7743 so I can remember. Our source, 933A. The whole thing is your MAC address. I just look at the bottom, or the last 4, because it individually identifies them. So our source MAC address is the MAC address for H1, and our destination MAC address is the MAC address for H2. So our source and destination MAC addresses match as well. So now we're going to open up H4 in a router. So we're going to look at remote LAN information. We're going to capture stuff for the remote LAN. So we'll go back to our terminal here. We're going to start host. Oh, we're going to start host 4 and R1 and router 1. And we'll just move him out of the way for a moment. Got a lot of windows happening here now. And R1. Now let's go ahead and record the information for them as well. So if I do an ifconfig, we'll get both our Ethernets here for the router. So R1, ETH1 is .1, 10.0.0.1, and its MAC address. Whoop, that's not it. There we go. That's actually part of it, but is there. We'll do Ethernet 2, which is 172.16.0.1. I was actually writing these down if you're wondering what's kind of the pause. And then, because we got to verify later that things are behaving the way we want them to behave. F583, and then let's go over to our host 4 node, or H4, and do the same thing. $172.16.0.40, and our MAC address. Now let's go ahead and start our capture Wireshark again. And we're going to continue without saving because we don't need this part anymore. And I'm thinking we're going back to host 1. We're going to ping host 4 from host 1. So this time we're going to go from our LAN. If we can go back to our terminal here. Here on host 1, this is our internal LAN. This is our switch, and then our 3 hosts. We're going to go through a router into another LAN and see how that behavior, what happens there. So anyway, we have started our Wireshark capture, and we're going to ping H4 from H1. Ping-C, we'll do it 5 times, so we're going to ping 172.16.0.40. We'll let that run. And then we'll go back to our Wireshark. So we'll go back to our Wireshark. ICMP is still there. The thing to notice with this one is our source IP is .11, our destination is the IP address for host 4. But if we go down and it's already expanded, but we've expanded our Ethernet 2, we notice that our destination MAC address is that of R1's Ethernet 1, and that's because it's the default gateway. So it hits that MAC address first. So our source is, our source is still our host 1, but now our destination is this Ethernet right here of R1, Ethernet 1 of R1. Our destination MAC address is the Ethernet 1 of R1. The source and destination IPs are still the same. So that was it for this one. Now we've got to clean it up. So let's go back to our terminal. We've got to stop Mininet and just kind of clean everything up. We'll go back to our terminal window and type sudo space mn-c and hit enter. Oh, not yet. We've got to get out of Mininet first. Sorry. Can't clean it up until it actually ended. Hit Q or quit. Now sudo mn-c to clean up everything that it started. CyberOps is your password. And now it cleaned everything up, and we're done with this one.